Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletime carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows some turkey and some mistletoe will help to make the seasons bright. Tiny tots with their eyes on the will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's bringing lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeers really know how to fly. And so offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you, Millie Edwards. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to Unity Temple in the Plaza, a place where diversity is praised and peace and harmony are the rewards. A few announcements before we begin the service. Everybody's wondering about Christmas Eve, December 24th. We are going to have the candlelight service right here. It's from 6 to 7 on that evening, so I invite you all to join us. Then there'll also be a Christmas Day service the next morning on Sunday here at 10:30. This is the second Sunday of Advent, and the word for the day for this Advent Sunday is peace. And in Unity, we say peaceful mind, peaceful heart, peaceful spirit quite often. And peaceful mind stands for having peaceful thoughts in regards to all those uneasy situations and circumstances in our lives. Those things that oftentimes can disrupt ourselves and cause stress and strain and even anxiety at times. So peaceful mind, at peace with all the situations and circumstances in our lives. Peaceful heart is in regards to the heart and the love that it expresses. So peaceful heart is we're at peace with all the people in our world. And then peaceful spirit refers to ourselves and the existence that we're living. We're at peace with ourselves and the existence that we're living. Peaceful mind, peaceful heart, peaceful spirit. May you all be blessed with that throughout this day and throughout the holiday season and moving into 2023. We'll now begin the service with the temple chimes, the opening prayer, and Millie Edwards with the call to inspiration. Temple chimes. Please say this with me if you choose. On this day, we dedicate ourselves to peace on earth. We accept ourselves without harsh judgment and express appreciation for our individuality. We live without fear to meet the events of this day with confidence. We accept others without prejudice to experience a sense of unity with all people. We honor our earthly environment and recognize a oneness with all creation, in harmony with ourselves, our lives, other people, and all of nature. We live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough hope for one like me. And there's quite enough love, there's quite enough joy to take away all the gloom. The Spirit is in this very room. For you, there'll be no more crying. For you, the sun will be shining. 'Cause I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. For you, I'd give the world. For you, I'd never be cold. 'Cause I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. And the songbirds are singing, 'cause they know the sky. And I love you like never before. And I wish you all the love in the world. But most of all, I wish it for myself. And the songbirds are singing like they know the sky.
Thank you, Millie. Well, good morning once again. See, one of the disturbing things for me is every morning I get up and I read the newspaper and there's been another killing someplace. And I read not too long ago that Kansas City is number one in the fastest increasing death rates by murder in the country. And that's a little disturbing because we've got a great city, and I think something can be done about that. We also face many other issues, but the reason I bring this up is because I have a good friend of mine, been in this church for 25 years, his name's John DeCapo, and he's collecting signatures so he can get a petition to get on the ballot for city council. It's at a table right up front. John, would you stand up just so we can recognize you and see who you are? If you're led to do so, support him. I think he's exactly what we need. So here we are in the doors are flung open. We're moving towards the holidays, which are always a time of joyful, exuberant chaos and confusion. We get together with friends and family and sometimes new acquaintances to celebrate the holidays. And it seems oftentimes we run into somebody where there's a little bit of an issue, whether they're talking about politics or talking about religion, arguments or conflicts begin to surface. But the good thing is, after the holiday season, we come here and we forgive all those people that irritated us at the Christmas gatherings the previous week. We're going to have a burning bowl here on Sunday, that's January 1st. Whatever is on your mind that weighs heavy, whatever irritates, agitates, angers you, it's time to forgive it. And we walk forward, we write it on a piece of paper, we put it in a big burning bowl, and the fire is symbolic of spirit. And so it's spirit overcoming the earthly irritations that we sometimes have. Every year during the holidays, my cousin Ozzie comes down to visit me for a couple nights. And it seems like every time he comes down, after he leaves, there's something that I have to forgive him for. So thank God for the burning bowl. Last year, he came down and stayed with me. And we went out to eat one night, had a great time. He came down on a bus from Nunda, South Dakota, for those of you who don't know him. But we had a beautiful evening. And as we're heading home, Ozzie suggested that we go down to the Power and Light for a little action, as he called it. And I told him, the only action I look forward to these days is using my new electric toothbrush. But I agreed to go home and he could take my car. But I emphatically impressed upon him to be careful, play it smart, be safe, because there's police checkpoints along the way, and they're looking for drivers with altered minds. That's a new politically correct thing for drunk drivers. So Ozzie promised me that he would do that. So he went out on his own. Next morning I wake up and I'm so relieved to find that he's home and he's safe. And we're having a cup of coffee and I said, "How did everything go last night, Ozzie?" He said, "Well, it went pretty well, but I've got good news and I've got some bad news." And I said, "What's the good news?" He said, "I did something that I rarely do, and that is take your advice." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, when the time came for me to call it a night, I took a taxi home. And just like you said, there was a police check on the road. We went right through it. They waved us by because I was in a taxi." "Good." I said, "That's being very responsible. I'm so happy you did that." I said, "What's the bad news?" He said, "Well, the taxi's in your garage and I forgot where I took it from." So we got another thing to put into the burning bowl this year as I tried to get that taxi back to its right place. Anyway, relationships are everything. They're everything, and they're essential to us, but yet they're the most difficult thing that we have. Because every aspect of our life, every single thing that we do involves a relationship of some sort. Whether it's a relationship with other people, with situations or circumstances, a relationship with God, a relationship with self. Relationships are everything. And therefore, it's important that we keep our relationships healthy. The love that you have in your relationships is the love you're going to have in your life. The anger you have in your relationships is the anger you're going to have in your life. So it's very essential that we keep things clear. And if something irritates us or agitates us, once again, we forgive it. And forgive means literally to give for. So if we're angry with somebody for one thing or other, we forgive, we give for, we give the anger for peace of mind. Very simple rule. And another adjunct to that is the fact that we should be very, very slow to take offense and be very, very quick to forgive. So when you're in that position where you feel yourself starting to get a little bit ill feeling, so to speak, because that's what it happens when we hold grudges, just keep in mind that forgiveness is the key. There is a tribe in South Africa that has a wonderful way of forgiving. When somebody in the tribe does something that is not right, they call that person and they set him in the middle of the village, and there's a huge circle that gathers around him. Then they go around the circle. Every single person speaks to this person in the middle, the perpetrator of the crime. Everybody speaks to that person, but they only mention good things. The good things the person's done in the past, the good characteristics the person possesses, the good things the person has done to help other people. They never mention the incident that got him there in the first place. And after everybody has gone around the circle, they have a big banquet, a celebration, and the perpetrator is the guest of honor. Now, this is a village that has no rules, regulations, or laws. They have no judicial system. They don't have no law enforcement. They have no repeat offenders. Everybody learns that they do bad things, but they learn from those bad things, and their self-esteem and their self-worth is really bolstered by the entire village. I went to a seminar once that was on forgiveness, and it was on several different things, but one segment was on forgiveness. And the facilitator asked for 2 volunteers from the audience. Nobody volunteered, so she chose myself and another person. So we came up, she gave us 2 little gunny sacks about like this. She asked us to hold the gunny sack in our hand and put our arms straight out. Then she went on and continued to talk. She just hold it there, hold it there. She went on and began to talk to the audience. Well, after a while, my arm was getting tired, and then it began to shake, and then it began to ache, and I almost was ready to let the sack down when the facilitator stopped and said, okay, you can lower your arm now. And then she asked both of us, she says, well, how was that occasion? Did you hear what I was saying when I was talking? And I says, no, I didn't. She said, were you having a pleasant time? I said, no, I wasn't. Well, she said, that is because in your bag, there's a rock about the size of a baseball that weighted it down. And the other person's, there wasn't. So as I was doing this and shaking and looking over at her, and she was just having a great time with no strain or stress at all, it appeared to me that perhaps I was getting weak in my old age. But she said the rock demonstrates, or the rock represents all those thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and perceptions that you have, that you carry forth, that are of a negative nature, that are of a hateful nature, anything that pits you against another person, anything that creates a separation between you and another person, it's exactly like that rock. It weighs on you. Whether you're thinking about it or not, it weakens you, and it diminishes the quality of life that you have. Forgiveness is essential because we know, just going through life, there's all sorts of different things that we can take offense with. There's all sorts of different people that disrespect us or say things that hurt our feelings. When we have that feeling of resentment or anger, give it up immediately. And it's easy to do once you get into that practice. You just slow down, you bring yourself back to the present moment, and you think about all the different things that you have in your life that are a blessing and not a curse. Changing cultures a little bit, the Iroquois Nation in northeast New York has a wonderful process as well. And this is on giving. It's on being charitable. And when their children are about 4 or 5 years old, they'll bring a child, and once again, it's in a big circle. Everybody in the tribe gathers around this little child. And they bring the child a wonderful, refreshing drink. The child drinks it. And as everybody's sitting around looking at the child and smiling, the child hears from outside the circle a voice. And it says, I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. And they direct the child to go outside the circle, find the person that's thirsty, and share his or her drink with them. Then the child goes back, and they bring he or her a wonderful array of foods. And the child's eating the food, and a different voice from outside the circle cries out, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. The child goes to the person and shares his or her food with the person. As the day goes on, it begins to get cold. They bring the child all sorts of blankets they can cuddle up with and stay warm. And then the child hears a voice, I'm cold, I'm cold. So the child takes one of its blankets, goes and finds the person, and gives them the blanket. Now they do this to teach the child to, first of all, be aware of other people's suffering, that there's a lot of people in this world that are having a tough time. There's a lot of people that have had serious situations in the past that caused them to suffer, and that suffering is still going on. There's a lot of people that simply don't have the things that they need, and we understand that. But the child begins to be aware and then also share what it can to make it easier for the other person. Now, we all have something to share. We all have something that we can utilize to help somebody else that's having a difficult time. And I'm not talking about giving money to the people in the corner. I'm not talking about providing material things necessarily. If you can, that's great. But what I am talking about is just allowing yourself to recognize somebody that needs you. And to help them, to give them what they need. It can be as simple as a kind word. It can be as simple as a compassionate ear for listening. It can be a helping hand. It can be something that you have, the goodness within you. A simple smile sometimes can help, to help the person pull themselves up a little bit and see the brighter side of life. Now, several weeks ago, I did a talk on the 7 basic human needs. And you all should have gotten a brochure on that today. A few people asked me if I would just expound on that, and it goes very well with what I'm talking about today, our relationships. Now, as you can see, if you can see the very bottom one, the basic need is physiological needs. We all need water, we all need food, we need sustenance, we need shelter to protect us from the elements. If that need isn't met, we don't have too many other thoughts in our mind. It's very hard to think about anything else if you're hungry or if you're cold or if you have no place to go. The second one is safety needs, safety and security for ourselves and our family. If our lives are threatened, we're not going to be too concerned about any of the other needs, the higher needs going up. Now the third one, interestingly enough, is social connection, the third of the basic needs. First of all, it's sustenance, then it is safety, and then it is our relationships. Our relationships are everything. They determine the quality of our lives. They determine the feeling that we have as we go through life. And then we have self-esteem, self-growth, beauty, and self-actualization, which is self-mastery or enlightenment. But I want to focus on the social connection first, because the trick with the human needs is you have to fulfill one before you can go to the next level of filling that. Until our physiological needs are really met, we're not going to be too concerned about safety. In the old days, people would go out with a spear and they'd fight the most ferocious animals because they were hungry. They needed to feed their family. Same thing with safety needs. If our lives are being threatened, we're not going to think too much about self-esteem or relationships or anything else. We're going to be worried about the fear that goes along with our survival. Now, when it comes to social connection, we're doing great with our physiological needs. We all have food, we all have drink, we all have shelter. We're doing good with our safety needs. I don't think any of us here go through life with an ongoing threat or a fear of some sort that we're in danger. But we kind of fall down when it comes to social connection. We haven't mastered that yet. We haven't got to the point where we can totally embrace all people and all things. And we cannot move forward to self-esteem until our relationships are in order. Now, with self-esteem, it's inextricably connected to our social connections. If we have conflict and strife and all sorts of negative feelings in our social relationships, we're not going to have a solid basis of self-esteem where we can embrace ourselves unconditionally and without hesitation, just to be accepting of ourselves and the life that we're living. And then that opens up for the higher needs of self-growth and beauty and self-actualization. Now, I talk a lot in doing this. I talk a lot about one thing that we find in all 13 holy books of the world's religions. Of all the books, the thousands and thousands of pages printed, all the different doctrines and creeds and do's and don'ts, there's one thing that every single religion agrees on, and that is the golden rule. And I talk a lot about it because it's the most important thing that I teach. Simply do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's very easy. I don't want someone to yell at me. I don't want someone to disrespect me. I don't want someone to talk behind my back. I don't want someone to spread rumors about me. I just want to know that other people out there support me and they don't do things that are against me. So the golden rule is easy to practice once again because we ask ourselves, well, what do I want? If I want to treat somebody the way I want to be treated, how exactly is that? How do I want to be treated? And there are 4 things that each and every one of us in the room want. First of all, we want recognition. We want to be recognized as somebody that counts, somebody that matters. In this world of 8 billion people, it's easy to get lost. It's easy to think that I'm not important, that I don't have any place in this world. We all need people to recognize us as just a human being on this earth that is a good person trying to do good things. The second thing is understanding. And we've all been through this before. If we make a mistake, if we have a problem of some sort, if we cause an inconvenience for another person, they might get agitated, they might get angry. But we want people to understand that we do make mistakes. We're not perfect. We cause problems. We want people to understand that even though it doesn't look like it at times, we're doing our very, very best that we can with the hand that life has given us. The third thing is love, or like. We want people to treat us kindly. We want people to share with us their inner feelings. We want them to treat us kindly, treat us with affection, and just be nice, and we can all do that. Then the last thing is encouragement. We all need a word of encouragement from time to time. I know life can be tough. There's times when we slip and we fall, we stumble, we go down, and sometimes we don't want to get up. We don't want to continue on. We want people to reach out and just give us a word of encouragement that this time too shall pass, that you're going to be okay, that you can do this. Even though you failed at something or you feel defeated, get back on your feet and help them along to move beyond that sad situation that caused them to feel defeated in the first place. So it is recognition, it is understanding, it is love, and it is a word of encouragement. R-U-L-E, golden rule. So as we move into meditation, let's think about that. And think about relationships in particular. Primarily, if you have anything right now that you're carrying, any sorts of anger or a negative thought about another person, no matter what they did, it doesn't make any difference. You're not forgiving them. You're forgiving the thoughts you have about them, the thoughts that were generated because of something that they did. We'll now move into meditation.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a sense of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
As we move into meditation, make yourself comfortable. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. And another deep breath. And as you exhale, feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed, more and more at ease. And another deep breath as you go deeper and deeper into the very heart of your soul. It's that place where there is always peace and there's always harmony. Away from all the chaos and confusion of the outer world, we find peace. We find a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself walking down the path of life. It's a nice day. The sun is out, the sky is blue, the white billowy clouds are all over. And as you're walking along, there's a rock in the middle of the road that you don't see. You hit it and you stub your toe. It hurts. You get angry. yourself for not seeing the rock, angry at the rock itself. So you pick the rock up and you put it in a backpack and you carry it with you. Now as you do so, you notice that the walk has become much more difficult. The heaviness of your backpack makes a difference. It slows you down. It weakens you. Yet you persist because of the anger you have towards that rock, and you never want to forget it. Pretty soon it gets to a point where you can't go any further. You're exhausted. You're tired. And then a voice comes to you that says, release the rock. Take it out. Let it go. And continue on. And when you do this, immediately you recognize that you're happier, that you have more strength, you have more energy, and the walk once again becomes very, very wonderful. Now think of that rock as being something in your life. Perhaps it's a person. Perhaps it's a certain situation or circumstance you're engaged in that's not pleasant. Perhaps it's suffering over something that's been done wrong to you. But in this moment, does it really make a difference? Do you really benefit by holding a grudge? Do you really benefit by the memory of that incident that caused you to suffer? So today we set it down just like that rock. We proceed forward without it. As you contemplate this, we'll move into the silence and just allow yourself to be. If a thought comes into your mind, you don't think about it. You don't try to stop it. You don't try to move it forward. You just let it be, and it'll float through your mind. It'll disappear in the silence. slowly begin to come back to this time and this place. At your own pace, take it easy. And as you do come back to this time and this place, do so with a sense of relief, a sense of comfort, a sense of joy, a sense of happiness, knowing that you are the one that decides how anything that happens in this world affects you. You are the one that decides what happens inside your mind and inside your heart. You're the architect of your life, and you decide how it will unfold. Be slow to take offense and quick to forgive, knowing that whatever we're against weakens us, and whatever we're for strengthens us. As we go forth to live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudel, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the clock lights, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Well, this concludes our service. I thank you all for coming. We do have community time downstairs if you want to go down for refreshments and cookies and that kind of thing. And also to the people that are streaming in, we oftentimes don't address you, but we do recognize you as a part of this wonderful community. And we want to tell you that we appreciate you being here with us. We have people as far away as Australia, we have people in Germany, one person in India, a person in Italy, 37 states across the country, all joining us on Sunday mornings, which really feels good. Even though I don't know many of them, I feel the connection, and so we appreciate it. If you'd like a special newsletter for people that do stream, email me, duke@unitytemple.com. I'll get you on that list, and you get a weekly update of what's going on. We'll now close the service with the prayer for protection, and together we'll sing the peace song. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, all is well.